Welcome everyone. We started biological nitrogen fixation, means certain prokaryotic organisms will synthesize an enzyme called nitrogenase which converts atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia. Now those prokaryotes can be free living in the soil also, those prokaryotes can be symbiotic also, means inside the host plant also it will be there. So in NCERT they have given the case study of symbiotic nitrogen fixation in which plants? In leguminaceae plants, that we will see. Okay, so we are going to discuss about symbiotic nitrogen fixation in which plants, children? In legume plants. So this we are going to discuss, means symbiotically how will bacteria fix nitrogen in leguminaceae plants. What is that bacteria which resides in the leguminaceae plants? Means its name is rhizobium. What is that bacteria which stays inside the leguminaceae roots? It is called rhizobium. The name of the bacteria is the name of the prokaryote is Rhizobium species, right? Now, what is the shape of the bacteria? The shape, it is bacilli, means it is rod shaped. Okay, children, and whether it is gram positive or gram negative bacteria, it is a gram negative bacteria. It is a gram negative bacteria and it is rod shaped bacteria and it is a soil bacteria. It is soil bacteria. Now, the peculiarity of this rhizobium bacteria is the rhizobium bacteria can stay freely in the soil also. It can do symbiotic association with the plant also. Both the ways it can live. Okay, so means if I am able to teach botany also, zoology also, both the things I can do. In the same manner, the rhizobium bacteria can act like free living in the soil also. The same bacteria can form symbiotic association in the legume plant also. So rhizobium can stay in soil in free living state. It can stay in the soil in the free living state and can stay in legume roots, in the leguminaceae plant roots in symbiotic state. In symbiotic state, it will be there in the legume plant. In the free state, it will be inside the soil. One more interesting point. When it is there freely inside the soil, it behaves like an aerobe. When it is doing nitrogen fixation, when it is there inside the legume plant, then it behaves like anaerobe. So when it is there in the free living state, what is it? It is aerobe. It requires oxygen. Then it is aerobic. And when it is doing nitrogen fixation, when it is inside the root of the leguminaceae plant, then it behaves anaerobic. Understood, children? Now this rhizobium bacteria fixes nitrogen in many leguminaceae plants. Like in NCERT, they have given the names of 8 leguminaceae plants. We should remember those 8 leguminaceae plants. I'll write one by one. Follow me. So rhizobium bacteria fixes nitrogen in leguminous plants. Like rhizobium bacteria fixes nitrogen in leguminous plants. Like I told, there are 8, so we'll go alphabet wise. First alphabet is A. The name of a leguminaceae plant starting with A is alpha. Alpha. The first plant is alpha. Alpha. The second plant is starting with alphabet B. Broad bean. What is that? Broad bean. The third plant starts with C. Clover beans. So till here we went with A, B, C, right? Then the next one we'll go with G and I. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, we'll go with G. Garden P. What's the fourth plant? It is garden P. Fifth plant is lentil. Is a plant. Lentil is also leguminous plant. Then sixth and seventh starts with sweet pea. They are called sweet clover and sweet pea. What are they? Sweet clover and sweet pea. So children, these are the plants in which rhizobium will go and helps in fixing nitrogen. 7 plants are there. What are they? Alfalfa with A, with B they have given broad bean, with C they have given clover bean. After that we went to G, G is garden pea, then we went with L, L is lentil, then we came to sweet pea and sweet clover. In these 7 plants, bacteria, rhizobium bacteria will do nitrogen fixation. So that is there in this board. Take a screenshot, then we will continue the process of nodule formation. Right, took the screenshot children. Now let us see the process of nodule formation. Right. Process of nodule formation. Process of nodule formation. So if we have to understand with the help of diagrams, the first diagram, let us try to draw the root. I am drawing the root epidermal cells. Right, and this is the epidermis and these are the loosely packed cortex cells. These are loosely packed cortex cells. Now these are root hairs and surrounding the root hairs soil particles will be there, right? The black colored ones which I am drawing are the soil grains. And we know that the bacteria is there in the soil only. So these are soil grains. And this is the root hair. And these are the cortical cells. And these are the epidermal region. Now in this region only bacteria is also there. Gram-negative bacteria appears pink in color, take saffron. So I'll use red color. So what happens? In this soil only bacteria are there. Right? Bacilli, no? Bacilli are there. Now let us see the sequence step by step in a flow chart. First, to attract that bacteria, the plant will secrete sugars. What the plant will do? I'll write step by step. The legume, plant, root, exudates, it gives certain secretions, exudates, like what is there in that root secretion? Sugars are there and amino acids are there. Children, sugars and amino acids the plant will secrete. Now if I want to attract a small child, I'll keep a chocolate in my hand, so the child will come towards me to take the chocolate. In the same manner, the plant is releasing sugars to attract the bacteria. And then the next step will be bacteria gets attracted and comes and accumulates near the root hairs. So second step will be bacteria gets attracted. Bacteria gets attracted to the sugars and amino acids and accumulates near the root hairs and accumulates near the root hairs. Right, children, this is the second step. Now, how will the plant knows that the bacteria came? So bacteria, it will tell like I'm nearby you. In that manner, how it will tell means bacteria secretes Nod factors. Bacteria will come, it will accumulate here. Bacteria will come and it will accumulate near the root hairs, and in turn the bacteria secretes nodulation factors. Step 3, we are going to write like bacteria secretes nod factors, nodulation factors. Bacteria will get attracted to the sugars and amino acids, and then it comes and accumulates from there to here, and it secretes nodulation factors. When the bacteria secretes nodulation factors, then the root hair will curl. So when the bacteria secretes nodulation factors, what happens? Tell me. The fourth step will be the legume root tip curls in response. So when the bacteria comes and secretes nodulation factors, then what happens to this root tip, children? The root tip curls like this. The root tip curls. So what happened here? The root curled. The root curled. The root will curl, and then the root will secrete a sugar binding protein called lectin. So in after curling, are you seeing the dialogues? The root secretes a sugar binding protein called lectins. Always the role of the plant is to secrete sugar, attract the bacteria. In the first step also it did the same thing. The plant has secreted sugars and amino acid, and the bacteria got attracted, it came near, and then in response bacteria secreted nod factors. In response to the nod factor, plant curled, and then plant secretes lectin. What is lectin? A sugar binding protein. Now bacteria will go and stick to that lectin. What is the next step? Step number 6. Now bacteria bind to lectins. Now bacteria will go and bind to lectins. They go and bind to lectins and they damage the root tip. They go and bind there and they damage the root tip. So they are going and they are damaging the root tip. See now, see the root tip is opened. They are damaging the root tip. They damage the root tip. Why did they damage the root tip? So that it can invade, right? It has opened the root tip in this manner. It has opened the root tip in this manner. When the root tip opens, bacteria can nicely go inside, right? So it damages the root tip and try to invade into the plant. It damages the root tip and try to invade into the root. Right? Then next what happens? Next what happens? Now if we take our vehicle out and we have to go, means so we'll see the path of the road and then we go. So how the bacteria will know who is making the path for the bacteria? Now in this root hair, plasma membrane will be there and cells also will be there. Golgi, which is a secretory cell, the vesicles of the Golgi will fuse with the plasma membrane and both of them will make a thread called infection thread, which makes the road, which makes the path for the bacteria. Now next what happens? We'll use blue. Golgi vesicles. Golgi's vesicles, right? They form inner tubular structures. They form inner tubular structures with plasma membrane. The Golgi is fusing with the plasma membrane and forms infection thread It forms infection thread. It is making the path for the bacteria to go, right? So let's see the 7 steps, then take a screenshot, then we will continue. We are seeing the process of nodule formation. First, what happens? The plant itself will secrete sugars and amino acids. Then the second step, the bacteria gets attracted towards the sugars and accumulates around the root hair, and the bacteria secretes nod factors. When the bacteria secrete nod factors, then in response to the nod factors, the plant will curl. When the plant curls, then the root secretes sugar binding protein called lectin. To this lectin, the bacteria goes and sticks. It goes and sticks and it drills. It is damaging the root tip. It is damaging the root tip and it's trying to penetrate inside. Meanwhile, the Golgi vesicular cells and the plasma membrane will make a path inside. They'll make an infection thread. Take a screenshot. We will continue. Right. Now then what happens, tell me? The infection thread is made. Right. So the root curled, right? The root curled, and these are the cortex cells. These are the cortex cells. Infection thread is made by the plasma membrane and the Golgi, right? This is an infection thread made by the Golgi and the plasma membrane. Now, who is moving through the infection thread? The bacteria. The bacteria, while they are going itself, they are multiplying. Bacteria are proliferating and they are passing through the infection thread. Bacteria are proliferating and they are passing through the infection thread. Now, till here we came. Now, let us discuss step number 8. The bacteria proliferate as they move through infection thread. As they are moving through the infection thread, the bacteria will proliferate, the bacteria will multiply. Now, after the bacteria multiplies, where are they going? The bacteria is going till the cortex. Meanwhile, what happens? The cortical cells, which are differentiated cells, they are matured and they are differentiated cells. Now, they de-differentiate. The cortical cells will de-differentiate and they make a root nodule. Understood? What's the next step? The cortical cells. The cortical cells, which are already mature cells, they again start differentiating, they again start dividing, so they de-differentiate. They de-differentiate and form a root nodule. They de-differentiate and they form a root nodule. Now, what happens then? Inside the root, a big mass is formed in this manner. What is this called? This is called root nodule. So, this is a matured root nodule. So, inside this, such a big nodule will be formed. Now, that nodule is made by de-differentiation of cortex and pericycle also. Cortical cells de-differentiate and form the root nodule. So, we can write cortical cells with pericycle. With pericycle will de-differentiate and they will make the root nodule. Now, then what happens? Next step. Step number 10. When the bacteria reaches the root nodule, then the infection thread membrane fuses with this cell membrane of the nodule and they will discharge all this bacteria into the nodule. So the infection thread membrane fuses with the cytoplasmic membrane of the nodule. Cytoplasmic membrane of the nodule. So when the infection thread comes and reaches the nodule, the infection thread membrane fuses with the membrane and they will release the bacteria into the nodule and release bacteria into nodule. Now where are the bacteria? The bacteria are inside the nodule. Now the bacteria are inside the nodule. Now nodule is a place where they will stay, that is the house. Inside the nodule the bacteria will initially divide, they will multiply. After that they sit and they start enlarging. First they will divide in the nodule, then they will enlarge and then they will finally become nitrogen fixing endosymbionts, which are called bacteroids. So like I will do my education. After doing my education, now then by profession I became a teacher, right? First I will learn, I'll do my BSc, MSc, MPhil, then I'll choose a profession of a lecturer. In the same manner here also, first bacteria will divide, then they will enlarge and then they will mature. After that they become nitrogen fixing endosymbionts. They are inside the cortical cells, so endo. They are symbiotic by nature, endosymbiont. What is the name we give for that nitrogen fixing endosymbionts? They are called bacteroids. Let us write down. First, bacteria will multiply in nodule. First they will multiply, then they will enlarge and later enlarge and become, they will enlarge and they will become nitrogen fixing endosymbionts and they will become nitrogen fixing endosymbionts called, what are they called? Bacteroids. Now they are very small, they will multiply, they will enlarge and then they turn into nitrogen fixing inside structures, symbiotic structures, which are called bacteroids, which will appear like X-shaped structures. See how much big they are. They appear, means two bacteria will make a bacteroid like structure. Now like this is one bacteroid, another bacteroid, another bacteroid, another bacteroid. Now all these bacteroids are surrounded by a membrane. The membrane which is surrounding the bacteroid is called as peribacteroid membrane. What is that called? This membrane is called peribacterial membrane. So the bacteria are getting separated from the cortical cells, pericycle cells, by secreting a membrane around it. What is that membrane called? Peribacterial membrane. This peribacterial membrane separates the bacteria from the host. But these bacteria needs food, needs water from the plant, because plant is giving shelter, plant is providing food. So that is why even though they are separating themselves by making a peribacterial membrane, so they are in touch with the xylem and phloem. At one point we can tell they are in touch with the plant xylem and plant phloem. This is xylem, this is phloem. So even though they are separated from the plant cells by secreting a membrane called peribacterial membrane, they are in connection with the xylem and phloem to take the food. Right children, what did we discuss here? We discussed that infection thread will be made by Golgi and plasma membrane, and the bacteria will come inside. As they are coming inside, they will multiply and they pass on through the infection thread. Meanwhile, the cortical cells will again differentiate. Differentiating second time is called de-differentiation. Cortical cells and pericycle cells will de-differentiate and make a mass of cells, which is called nodule. Now, in this nodule, the bacteria will be delivered by the infection thread. When the bacteria come inside the infection thread, they multiply, they enlarge, and they behave like nitrogen fixing endosymbionts called bacteroids, and then they secrete a membrane around them, that is peribacterial membrane, and then they get separated themselves from the plant system. But still, bacteria are very clever. Since they need nutrition, at one point the membrane will not be there, and through that region they are taking nutrients, food from the plant. Take a screenshot. We will continue. Right, children? Now next step is, now these bacteroids will secrete an enzyme. What is that enzyme the bacteria will secrete? Nitrogenase, which reduces the nitrogen into ammonia, right? Now inside the nodule, the bacteroids will secrete an enzyme. What is that called? Nitrogenase, right? So let us tell that the fully matured bacteroids will secrete nitrogenase enzyme. I think 11th, this is 11th or 12th step. The fully matured bacteroids, they secrete nitrogenase enzyme. They secrete nitrogenase enzyme, which will do the nitrogen fixation. Understood, children? The bacteria is secreting nitrogenase enzyme. And where is this nitrogen enzyme secreted? Inside the nodule. Secrete nitrogenase enzyme inside the nodule. Now, one interesting thing is, the nitrogenase enzyme is very much sensitive to oxygen. It is very much sensitive to oxygen. In presence of oxygen, nitrogen will not do reduction. So we can tell that the nitrogenase enzyme is sensitive to oxygen. The nitrogenase is sensitive to oxygen and will not do nitrogen fixation in presence of oxygen, and cannot do nitrogen fixation. It cannot do nitrogen fixation in the presence of oxygen. So now you need something to trap the oxygen to provide the anaerobic conditions. There is a protein called leg hemoglobin. So there is a protein called leg hemoglobin. Leg hemoglobin acts as a oxygen scavenger. We will write leg hemoglobin acts as an oxygen scavenger. It traps the oxygen and provides anaerobic conditions for the nitrogenase activity. Leg hemoglobin, which is present inside the nodule, acts as an oxygen scavenger. Acts as an oxygen scavenger. It traps oxygen and it is holding the oxygen, and it provides anaerobic conditions. It will trap the oxygen and it provides anaerobic conditions for the enzyme to do its function for nitrogenase activity. Now, they will ask you to unroot any leguminaceae plant and see. When you see the leguminaceae plant roots will be like this. The leguminaceae plant roots will be like this. On this we can see the nodules, and the nodules will be pink in color, it seems. Now the author in NCERT, they are asking us, why are the nodules light pink in color? Why are the nodules light pink in color? The nodules of leguminaceae plants are light pink because of the presence of leg hemoglobin. Got it, children? So we can write down the nodules are pink in color. The nodules are pink in color due to the presence of this leg hemoglobin. Okay, children. Now this leg hemoglobin is similar. It is similar to the hemoglobin of vertebrates. It is the same hemoglobin what we are having here. Also it is the same hemoglobin. Leg hemoglobin is similar to the hemoglobin of the vertebrates, and in this heme is there, globin is there, hemoglobin. So who will give the heme and who will give the globin? You know, plant and bacteria both are contributing. Heme is secreted by the bacteria, globin is synthesized by the host plant. Heme is, what is heme? Pigment. The pigment is synthesized by rhizobium bacteria. The pigment is synthesized by rhizobium bacteria. What is globin? Globin is a protein. Then protein is synthesized by host plant. Protein is synthesized by host plant. Both are contributing. Both are contributing to prepare the oxygen scavenger, right? Heme is synthesized by bacteria, globin is synthesized by host protein, then heme and globin will combine to make leg hemoglobin. Leg hemoglobin, what it will do? It will trap the oxygen, provide anaerobic conditions for the enzyme. Then what happens? The nitrogenase enzyme, in presence of leg hemoglobin, it reduces nitrogen into ammonia. It reduces nitrogen into ammonia. Plant cannot take the nitrogen, but it can easily absorb the ammonia. It will absorb it, right, children? What did we wrote on this board? We told the fully matured bacteroids. What do you mean by fully matured bacteroids? The egg-shaped, enlarged endosymbiont bacteria. The fully matured bacteroids will secrete an enzyme called nitrogenase enzyme. This nitrogenase enzyme is secreted into the nodule. Important thing is the enzyme is sensitive to oxygen. Enzyme will not work in presence of oxygen. That means surrounding the enzyme we need to ensure anaerobic conditions. Then the leg hemoglobin will be synthesized. Hemoglobin contains heme and globin. Heme by the bacteria, globin by the plant. This leg hemoglobin imparts pink color to the nodules. It acts as an oxygen scavenger, traps that oxygen, provides that condition, suitable conditions for nitrogen to get converted to ammonia. Take a screenshot, we'll continue. Right, so this mechanism of conversion of nitrogen to ammonia is called diazotrophy. This mechanism is called diazotrophy, and the mechanism of diazotrophy is studied in cell-free systems. Using radioisotope N15. The mechanism of nitrogen fixation is also called diazotrophy. Diazotrophy is studied in cell-free systems like bacteria and cyanobacteria using a radioisotope called N15. Understood, children? Now we were doing biological nitrogen fixation. Till here we completed in this session. In the next session we will continue the remaining part. We will talk about the components of the nitrogenase enzyme, and we will see the reaction of nitrogen fixation, how much energy is needed. We will discuss in the next lecture. If the content is informative, do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.